If you're watching this, you probably know what Artfight is. It's an annual trading game where everyone is split into 2 teams. You draw other people's characters to earn points for your team, and whichever team has the most points at the end of the month wins. It happens every July, so it's coming up in only a week. You might have seen some hype about it in the past few days, because yesterday, this year's team's names were revealed. Fossil versus Crystal. Every year, the name of the teams changes, and you can choose which one to go on. Last year, it was Seafoam versus Stardust, and the year before that, it was Vampire versus Werewolves, and so on. Artfight's been around since 2007, but the idea of having different teams only really started in 2015. If you're following me on Instagram, you might have seen in my story that I had a thing last year where I designed a character for the team I was on. By the way, I was on Team Stardust. I felt like I kinda had to with my username, you know? So this was the character that I designed for that. But then yesterday I thought, what about those other 10 years that I didn't join, or rather couldn't because I was just too young? And last year when I was on Team Stardust, I didn't get to draw a character for Team Seafoam. To be honest, all of the Artfight team names sound awesome, and I'd love to create a character for every single one of the themes, going all the way back to Color vs. Mono in like 2015. So that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, so first up, this year's team, Fossil versus Crystal. Okay, so let's start with Fossil because this one looks really cool. Okay, so this is the logo design for the Fossil team. I really like the dinosaur bones and the golden copper color scheme. I decided to design a character which has his bones or skeleton on the outside, kind of like he's wearing old fossils that he found. I'm also gonna have him wearing a dinosaur skull because I think this headdress thing looks really cool. I'm going with the warmy gold colors too, almost like the bones were old artifacts he found. Okay, I really like this one. I'm a sucker for characters whose eye colors are inverted, so I really like this one. Okay, next up, Team Crystal. This is actually the team I'm going to be on this year. Honestly, I really wanted to be on Team Fossil, but when I was younger, I played a game with my sister where my character was called Crystal, so I felt almost obliged to be on Team Crystal this year. It's actually kind of funny because this year's theme and last year's theme had like something personally important to me, so I kind of had to go on those teams. Okay, so I'm going to continue the dinosaur theme. I was inspired by this dinosaur, with the plates being crystal spikes that grow out of her back, with a powerful tail to attack other people with. Initially, I didn't really like this one, but I'm actually kind of starting to grow on her. I also added her to Artfight, so I'll put the link in the description if you want to draw her this year. Okay, so that's 2025 year done. Let's go back to 2024 themes. Seafoam versus Stardust. So for Seafoam, I decided to design a horse character. I was inspired by a short story or poem that I remember reading back in primary school when the author used a metaphor of the sea foam on the beach kind of being like white horses crashing down on the sand. So I thought that was really cool. I also took inspo from this old sculpture thing I did for school when I was like 13, using the water and the horse. So her mane and tail will literally be a waterfalls of flowing water and rivers. Like, that would be so cool animated. Okay, so that's her done. I'm really proud of the colours in her mane. I tried really hard to try and keep to the colour scheme of the logo. Okay, so next up, onto Stardust. So this was the original design I drew of Stardust last year, but honestly, I kind of think she needs a redesign. So, yeah. Okay, so I decided to keep most of her markings the same, but I wanted to change up the colours using more blues and dark purples, especially with her face markings, making them much lighter than before. I also decided to change her wings and hair. Originally, I had them as galaxies of the sky, but I think it'll look nicer if only her wings were the night sky and her fur and tail were different, like to have some contrast and stuff. Oh, and by the way, I am also a sucker for characters with white hair. My main Sona, plus other characters which I made in my early childhood, have white or light blue hair, so definitely a theme. I like characters with white eyes and white hair. Okay, so that's her redesign. What do you think? Which one looks better? I prefer the new one, but I'm not sure if that's just because like the proportions in the old one were just so bad. Oh, and also, there were 2 people who drew Stardust last year, so I just wanted to showcase them quickly. Okay, so this one was drawn by Ellie Dogmeat, and which is really, really incredible. Look, they even drew the sparkles of the galaxy by hand as well. Like, it looks so good. Ellie's really nice as well. Thank you, Ellie. And this one was done by kionadraws. I love the pose, and the paws look so neat. Thank you so much. I'll put Ellie and Kiona's links in the description as well, so be sure to check them out. I'm gonna add my crystal character to Artfight, so you can draw her this year if you want to. With these characters, I'm only putting them on like the year that theme was, so like the Stardust character isn't gonna be on Artfight this year, but I'll put the link to all the other characters in the description to my toy house so you can still see their refs if you want to draw them. Thank you again so much to Ellie and Kiona who drew Stardust. They look so cool. And also, I'll be sure to revenge anyone who attacks me this year, so I'll put my Artfight link in the profile and I'll see you then. My school doesn't finish until like halfway through Artfight though, so like if you attack me and I haven't done a revenge or I'm slow to doing revenges, that's why I will catch up afterwards, after like the 18th. Okay, so I'm actually going to do the rest next time, so click on the video here to watch part 2. Also, here's a random video that YouTube thinks you might like. And I'm so excited for Artfight, it's only in a week!